Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for August 28th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and I'm here today to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 27 live feeds. It was day 51 in the house, and more campaigning going on. There's proposed sleepovers going on. There's going on. All kinds of things to talk about today, and with me to talk about it all, Chantele. How you doing, Chantele?
I'm doing really well, and I can't believe it because he has a girlfriend at home, but I'm kind of shipping Vorgan. Vince or Mince Vorgan. I'm shipping it. Is it
This is
bad?
the big topic of the day, Chantele. People are shipping them. People are condemning them. People are condemning the shippers. It's all over the place.
Am I being condemned now? Oh my god, they're gonna burn me at the stake. But I don't know. There's something about it that I kind of enjoy.
Yes, well, we will talk about it plenty here today. Of course, as you know, Vince is the HOH. He nominated Ava, Mickey, and Kelley. Mickey then won the veto. We saw that in the episode last night. She used the veto. Katherine was the replacement after much to do. And now the vote will fall between two of Ava, Katherine, or Kelley. It's been a relatively straightforward vote to this point, with Kelley being evicted if she doesn't win the blockbuster, and then Katherine being evicted over Ava in the event that Kelley does win the blockbuster, meaning Ava is safe no matter what, and Katherine and Kelley leaves unless she wins. However, the day before, day 50, Morgan expressed some significant interest in keeping Kelley over Katherine for a few different reasons. One was that Katherine said she was a vote for Rachel in the jury. She felt like Katherine was more connected socially. Kelley's going to go up on the block. And another big part of it, too, I think that we especially realized yesterday is that Mickey has been campaigning for Katherine to stay, and because of that, they want, or Morgan in particular, wants Mickey to not get what she wants, because if Mickey wants it, that's probably bad for her because she doesn't want Mickey to have a number, and so that's maybe another reason why you would keep Kelley around, who does not get along with Mickey, and so many reasons why, but Morgan wants something, and when Morgan wants something, she pushes hard to get it.
Which is like great. We've seen these people that are on the block right now, and the only person that I really see kind of talking to people and kind of working on staying in the game really is Katherine. And so, Morgan, I like the fact that, like, okay, she has this connection with Vince. She's in power right now. She might as well get her agenda across. Like, she might as well get what she wants. And so, if that happens to be having Katherine go just to spite Morgan or to spite Mickey, so be it. I'm okay with it.
Mm. So that's really where we start the day. Morgan continues to campaign against Katherine. We've seen her, obviously, if she pushes hard enough, we know she's able to get Vince to basically do whatever she wants. The bigger problem is that she can't really do it alone. In a spot where it's Kelley versus Katherine, you don't really have the votes at all if you're Morgan, unless you have all of the judges backing you, not to mention the fact that she obviously wouldn't want to break from the judges just for this vote. So she needs to convince the judges. And that means Ashley, Will, Rachel, and then, just to a smaller degree, people like Ava or Mickey would help. But she does start talking with Rachel, and Rachel, I think, takes a very smart tactic with this vote, considering that it's not that important, which is, yeah, I'm good either way. whatever you guys want.
I mean, and it's also really good to take any sort of, focus off of her. She just had a big week. The dust really hasn't fully settled with Riley leaving. And so, like, if she wants to hopefully fade back into the shadows, maybe not cause too many waves, so whoever wins next week won't be likely to put her up. I definitely think it's a good tactic to be like, hey, man, whatever you guys decide, I'm on board. Let's just do it. So, yeah, I agree. Great position to take.
Yeah, and she still has opinions, and she's participating in the discussion, but she's very willing to concede to what they're looking to do. I thought it was a very well played day from Rachel here, and so earlier in the morning, not really morning, but like earlier in the day, Rachel is starting to agree with some of the points that Morgan is making. Katherine is more well connected in the house, and not only is Mickey trying to work with Katherine, but even Keanu is talking about how Katherine is a stronger asset to have in the game than Kelley. He will not vote against Kelley. He will be casting a sympathy vote for Kelley regardless. But he does see the value in keeping Katherine potentially because she's potentially a stronger player and, again, asset to go against other people in the game like Morgan, Mickey, Ashley, whatever. And so the fact that Keanu seems to want to keep Katherine around, that also makes them feel like maybe we don't want Katherine around.
And I get it. I mean, I think they need to think about all the points that are being made and actually make the decision that way. Because if it's like, ooh, like let's want to do exactly the opposite of what either Keanu or what Mickey wants, like that's actually not necessarily doing what's for your best interest. So look at their points, and I think that there's valid points and valid reasons for keeping either one of them. But then do it for yourselves, not to do it to spite. Even though spite is kind of fun for TV and for the audience, but for your own game, like look at the points and think of what's actually best for you.
Right. And well, the thing about this is, of course, that Keanu doesn't, I think, really want Katherine to stay over Kelley. I think it's partially just what he's saying. He has expressed, pretty significantly that he would like for Kelley to stay. I think that he thinks it's a bit of a losing battle, and so he's starting to invest in Katherine. But I think if he could get his way, he would keep Kelley around. And when it comes to Mickey, yes, she is trying to keep Katherine around, but that's because she doesn't realize that Katherine still doesn't really care much about her. That's part of that. Because at the end of the day, we can talk all about, and we will to some degree, all the intricate twists and turns through the day of, who convinced who and when did it go here. But all we really need to do to figure out who's going to leave this week is to figure out who Keanu doesn't want to leave this week. And then we will know. It doesn't matter what anybody else does. Keanu decides the opposite.
So Keanu is the new reverse oracle.
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of a fun barometer. Like how accurate has it been up until this point?
I can't think of a time he's ever gotten his way.
Okay, this is fun. Okay, so at this point, what does he want? He wants Kelley to stay. Okay, so Kelley is going home.
In the meantime, Lauren is going to have a little bit of a journey through the day. Lauren is not sure what to do with the vote, and she's still not really talking to many people. So she, of course, goes to Vince. She's like, Vince, I don't know what to do with the vote. I think I want Katherine to stay, but I don't know. What do you think?
I was listening to her on 3.5 and still I'm like, come on, let's get it out. Like, what are you trying to say here? Sorry to interrupt.
No, basically she talks to him about wanting to keep Katherine, obviously, but she's also kind of coming around to the idea of she'd kind of prefer Kelley stay over Ava too. Ava leaving might actually be the best thing for her game. she's basically aligned with all three of these people. Ava has been talking with her and Katherine about forming a little bit of a three, but her and Katherine are obviously even closer. And then Kelley has been talking with Lauren for a long time and is, much more isolated and willing to take shots that Lauren would like her to take than Ava, who is a bit more passive and bit too close to some of Lauren's enemies. And so she, I think, to some degree, rightfully is looking at it would be great if we could get Ava out. The problem is you don't really have the votes there. Now, Lauren and Keanu voting Ava out would be 2. You need 4 plus Vince's tiebreaker. And Vince's tiebreaker is far from a given, Lauren. You should know this. But if you pull the third vote as, say, Katherine or Kelley coming down off the block, you need 1 more vote plus the tiebreaker. And so they're kind of wondering where they could get that vote. Lauren would like for Vince to convince Morgan to vote that way because she's under the mistaken assumption that Vince influences Morgan and not the other way around.
Like, how you can't see that? It's very surprising that she is not getting a full picture of like the dynamic between Vince and Morgan. I really hope, I mean, I don't know if she's actually going to make anything happen. I think it's going to be like the people campaigning. Like, I'm worried for Ava because she doesn't really campaign very strongly or at all. Like, she does mostly napping and stuff like that. Like, I feel like she's not showing that she's an asset other than maybe a number at times, and a number for people that you're not necessarily working with if you're Lauren. And so I'm getting kind of worried, though, that maybe some traction might pick up for the rest of today and that Ava might be in trouble in the end. I'm like kind of getting worried.
Yeah, so they talk about that. Vince says for his game, it would be best for Ava to leave, and he's not entirely wrong there either, although I'm not sure he means it, because Ava is somebody that is against him and with his enemies. And Kelley, for as much as she's also potentially against him, as much as Katherine is potentially against him, at the very least, those two are not with, and I say enemies, his alliance.
The judges.
Ava's a number for the rest of the judges and not for him. Katherine and Kelley, at the very least, despite not being numbers for him, are not numbers for the rest of his alliance. So there is a lot of value to potentially taking Ava out. But of course, from his perspective, well, but they'll be mad at me if I get rid of Ava.
They will. So don't do it.
Yeah, you continually put yourself in the position where you can't do what you want. They'll be mad at me if I didn't. And he literally says this too, like, am I going to ruin all of the goodwill I built up by not putting up Rachel, by taking out Ava? And it's like, how do you not see this is the exact same scenario you and Lauren were in previously when you didn't put up Ashley? And then, oh, wait, now we can't keep Adrian either because then we'll ruin the goodwill we built up by not putting up Ashley. And man, what a large amount of goodwill that was.
At least Vince is playing a little bit, right? But yeah, I know he's really frustrating that he's just so, it's so difficult for him to take a stance. He'll just be like, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. Like, yes, I'm going to make some enemies or people might be mad at me for it, but like, it's not going to stop me for doing what's in my best interest here when I have the power. Like, he should be like, yeah, make a decision and then you can still build those relationships back. It doesn't mean like it's completely over forever if you do something that people that you're working with or even not working with don't like. And so I wish he just had a little bit more of a backbone and he's a little bit more of like a gutsy player that wasn't so worried about disappointing and like upsetting people. It's like, ugh, come on.
Appeasement is rarely a good strategy on Big Brother, but especially if you are going to like look into the idea of it, you have to look at the path in front of you when you start down that road of appeasement. Because if the appeasement is I'm in power and I'll throw this person a bone because they're a little side path off of the direction that I'm going and I'm going in this direction anyway, sure, appease a person. But if the appeasement is here's the path I want to take in the game and it's straight to my goal, and the appeasement is turning around and going in the opposite direction, And what that means is that, like, by not putting up Rachel, now you also have to appease the alliance on who you do end up evicting this week, and then the following week, it's like the same. It's the same thing every time, time after time. You have a path in the game that you want to take that includes somebody like Lauren. The rest of your alliance doesn't like Lauren; they want her out, and so you appease them once, you appease them again, and any time at any point down that path, you decide you want to stop. All of that work was for nothing. And so you have to look at the paths in front of you before you make these kinds of decisions. And, you know, Vince very likely doomed Lauren with that decision, and committed to a path that is not exactly amazing for him here. So we will see. But
I wonder how he plays other games. Like, is he this like worried about, like, he's playing Monopoly? Like, oh my god, like they're gonna get mad at me. Like, I got Boardwalk and they landed on it. I got to charge them rent. Like, does he get mad at those other games as well, or not mad, but like worried about how people are gonna be with him for like just playing the game? Is it only because it's with people and it's like the social dynamic with it? Because I'm like, come on, have some gusto here. He talks about he has like family and like, you know, his mom and all this stuff, and like he, you know, he visits his family every Sunday. Like, do they play games? Like, I don't know. It's just very interesting. His gaming sense is so of that appeasement.
Vince is absolutely the person I would play Risk with in high school, that I'd be like,
dominate.
if you attack me, it's over. I'm spending the rest of the game hunting you down. We'll both lose. Make your choice. And he'd be like,
okay,
never mind.
With the entire country. Oh my gosh. Risk. Oh, that's a throwback. I used to play Risk all the
time. Morgan interrupts their conversation, and there's like a small amount of pitching, like, well, what about Ava leaving? No, Ava's not going to go. Anyway, between Katherine and Kelley, I'm thinking Katherine needs to go, and Lauren's like, oh.
Wrong answer. But
Lauren just doesn't want to be on the wrong side of the vote. That's what she tells Vince. And you know, she ends up leaving this conversation. Morgan talks more with Vince about taking out Katherine. She's continuing to give these arguments. She does want Vince to like check in with Lauren and get whatever information she can about Katherine. I think probably hoping that it will lead to some more damning evidence that she can use against Katherine. But we'll see what comes of that later. They do talk again more with Rachel, who is open in either direction, but leaning toward getting rid of Katherine right now. She thinks Katherine is too close to Ava. Like, Ava wouldn't put up Katherine, but she would put up Kelley. So many people are willing to put up Kelley. But again, you know, whatever you guys decide, I'm pretty chill with it. I don't really mind either way.
I personally think that Katherine probably is a better player than Kelley, and Kelley could be a target. And so, I mean, I think that they're on the right track with getting rid of Katherine, but like, oh my God, the showmance back to back, like, that's just so brutal. Like, they're not going to ever forgive Rachel for breaking up the entire show and sending them to their homes.
It's not respectable.
It's not respectable.
Yeah. So, things got interesting during the episode when Lauren, who is finally starting to branch out, you know, like just a little bit, you know, just having some preliminary conversations about the vote. You know, she's thinking about wanting to make sure some votes could be there to keep Ava over Katherine at the very least. She's talking with Ashley in the train room. And she's, you know, they're whispering, but you know, pretty loud. And Lauren is talking about Ava, and Ashley says, "Well, I'm closer to Ava. You know what I mean? And she's just now, like, I'm just now starting to talk. You know what I mean? Like, with Katherine, you know what I mean? And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, obviously, like, I'd want Ava to, you know, stay, you know what I mean? And Lauren is like, yeah. I feel like I can trust Katherine. But when it comes to Ava, it's hard because I'm really close to her, but, you know, against Katherine, I mean, I don't want to be on the wrong side of the vote, but against Katherine, and when it comes to Ava, I don't really know. And then if you're watching this video, I'd like to direct you to the screen for a moment because this is the visual of what's happening. If you are listening to this podcast, Lauren and Ashley are talking on one bunk bed, bottom right. Ava is top left. And though it may look like is she sleeping, I can tell you she was not. She was not sleeping. She was hearing all of this because the second they left and walked away from this conversation, Ava goes, what?
And then starts like counting like votes and like, oh my God, she did look noticeably panicked.
Mm-hmm. So the camera lingers on Ava, just like freaked out, looking upset. Again, you have to remember, Ava has been close with Lauren since the beginning. They had a final two at one point called the Bond Girls. She's been talking a lot with her and Katherine about being in a bit of a three. And the fact that like Lauren is saying she would vote for Katherine to stay over her. Maybe not that surprising, but like the cavalier way with which she was like, I don't know, I might vote with the House if that's what it came to, but she, you know, she's not necessarily a vote for her against Katherine. It seems to have made an impact on Ava, who I think again felt pretty good with her. And in the meantime, Lauren has realized that Ava was in the bed, and she's freaking out, and she runs upstairs to talk to Vince. Vince, I think I just messed up. I was just talking about Ava and she was in the bed. And he was like, do you think she heard? I don't know. I don't remember what I said. She's just, so one camera is that, the other camera is Ava freaked out. It's phenomenal. I caught the tail end of this originally, right after the episode ended. And she's just freaking out. Eventually Ashley comes in. Ashley's like, hey, Ashley, I think Ava heard what we were saying. And Ashley's like, oh no. Oh geez. Oh man. Oh, what did I even say? I don't think we said anything that bad. I mean, oh. I was like, what? No, never mind. It's not that. But oh.
Now, some people are speculating that Ashley knew that Ava was there the whole time. I don't think so, but
I don't think so either. Yeah.
The whole sequence was like, it was really fun to watch, where you see Lauren come in back into the bedroom to check on to see if like Ava's awake or not, you know, and like Ava just, I believe, was just played dead, like she was just sleeping, and that's when she ran upstairs to Vince, and like just seeing her like mind just going, be like, oh my God, what did I say? Like replaying everything back to back to back. It was cinematic. It was a great moment.
And so Vinny ends up leaving eventually, up in the HOH room, and it's just Lauren and Ashley, and Lauren's like, do you really think it's like, did we say anything bad? And Ashley's like, I really don't think we said anything bad. I mean, I can't really remember. I can barely remember what I said, but you know what I mean? Like but we did say that. She keeps doing that. She says, I think we just don't say anything. We just don't say anything. We just hope she was sleeping. Don't say a word to anybody and hope it goes away. And Lauren's like, yeah, and that'll get it out of our minds. And then like Katherine rings the doorbell, and she's like, should we say? And Ashley's like, I don't think we should say. She's like, okay, we're not going to say anything. Katherine, hey, and they don't say anything. But of course, Ashley runs and talks to Ava.
I mean, just like go into temperature check a little bit, being like, what does she know? Is she acting a little bit differently? Vince did give like one tell, like if she does come up here to campaign for, you know, my vote, if it's a tie, she hasn't done that yet. That could be an indicator that she heard something to make her feel a little bit uneasy. So that was a good potential indicator.
I mean, here's the thing. This is what it is, Lauren. You have no practice talking game with people, so you're making rookie mistakes. You know, you need to. This is not that. This is. You got to get back up on that bike and try again, Lauren. You know, that's the only way you're going to learn. Don't let it scare you off.
It might. Or check like the room. Like it's not even like she was like hidden. Like she's like blatantly right there. It's not like, you know, when they're in like the bathroom in the head of household, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that when we saw the house photos preseason, I did a stream and I talked about like, oh, that's interesting, because what if somebody's like up in a bed somewhere and you don't realize it? Like, it'd be so easy. And it's happened multiple times. This is not even the first time Ava has overheard a conversation because she's just hanging out in that bed all the time. You know, it's not easy to check all of the beds just at a glance. You need to sort of like walk the room to do a perimeter check. And so, you know, not to mention the fact that Ava like just blends in with the bed a lot.
Yeah.
So while they were upstairs, Ava talks to Rachel downstairs, and she's like, Rachel's like, how you feeling? She's like, Rachel's like, what? You don't need to be concerned about the vote or anything. She's like, frankly, I'm just concerned that people aren't going to do what they said they were going to do. And Rachel's like, you have the votes for sure. Like, you know, you have me and you have Ashley and Morgan and Will, and those votes are locked, and Vinny will break the tie for you. So like, and I'm sure you have Lauren too. And she goes, I'm not sure I have Lauren.
Aww, so heartbreaking moment for her. Against Katherine,
you know, it doesn't even matter if you have Lauren. We've got the votes anyway. You don't need to matter. And this genuinely could be a significant turn of events here, because again, Ava was being pushed in the direction of or pulled, I would say, in the direction of Lauren and Katherine, and away from Rachel. And she's always had an issue with Ashley, although that's been warming. And she's now like really hates Mickey. She was telling Will early in the day, like, sorry, but if I win HOH, I'm backdooring the B.
Not a fan at all. She's so
So this is significant because she now feels like a bit betrayed, I think, by Lauren, and she is talking with people like Rachel and Ashley to get reassurance. And she says she's back to saying later in the day, like, you know, the thing about Rachel, because before they were talking about like, oh, the emotional manipulation that Rachel does during the votes. She's like, you know what? At least she pushes hard for her allies. Like, she fights to the death for her allies. Lauren. So she's talking to Rachel. They end up like, you know, chatting and bonding a bit, even in just this conversation. And they're going over votes and how Ava feels like she does not have Keanu's vote. She did talk to him earlier in the day, and he told her he was voting for Kelley no matter what. And she says, you know what? Frankly, if what cost me $750,000 is that I didn't talk to Keanu enough, it's money well spent.
I actually rewound and watched that many times because it was just so funny. Just how like Rachel wasn't expecting her to say that, and she just like it came out of her, and like I thought it was really funny. I wrote it down because I'm like, if you don't mention it, I need to bring up this line. It was a great Ava line.
Yes. So as I said, Ashley comes downstairs and chats with Ava in the shower. So it was a bit hard to hear, but they were talking about the interaction. And Ashley was talking about how funny it was once she realized that Ava overheard. Of course, from Ashley's perspective, if she does remember everything she said, like Ashley is more trustworthy. She was the one saying, I'm closer to Ava. I'm keeping Ava for sure. It was Lauren that really was saying some not as good things for about Ava. And so Ashley is telling Ava, like, you don't need to worry whether or not we have Lauren. You have the votes. These votes are locked. They're locked and loaded. And she's like, they're locked, Ava. And she's like making her laugh. And it's like, oh, look at Ava and Ashley.
I love them
Hold on.
together. I do. I mean, and like Ashley, I had like a week where she frustrated me, but I've come around definitely on Ashley. And like, I do think that she has a good game sense. She's funny, she's entertaining. And I love that she's working on this relationship with Ava, because that was a little bit of like a blind spot of hers. So I'm loving this dynamic. They're very cute.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ashley has also been talking with Katherine a few times throughout the day. I think that like she's making some good progress here with Katherine. Kelley not doing much.
Kelley's being Kelley.
But really, again, throughout the day, it's a lot of like a back and forth, Katherine versus Kelley. Katherine having more conversations with people, some bonding, but for the most part, it was like this like eavesdropping drama, and you know, this bit of back and forth. But there's more conversations about Katherine versus Kelley later into the night. Morgan, as I said, had asked Vince to get some information from Lauren. He comes back to her saying, yeah, I'm hearing that like Katherine is just kind of like humoring Mickey, that she's still pretty mad at Mickey about everything, and not really a number for Mickey. And Morgan's kind of like, okay. I mean, if she's not actually a number for Mickey, then it's not as pressing to make sure that she leaves. And on top of that, like they're talking more with Rachel, who kind of agrees, and discussing like who the jury votes would be and how Kelley's never going to be a jury vote for Rachel. And she's like, that's pretty annoying. And Rachel starts to come around to the idea of maybe we should just get out Kelley. That's kind of what my gut is telling me now. And Vince seems to be more on that page as well. He later says to the cameras, he just feels like he's burned Kelley 3 times now and she's never going to come back to him. And so Morgan starts to reluctantly back down. She doesn't have Rachel as much anymore. Vince is still like a tough sell. And they haven't even really made any progress yet on Ashley and Will. So it's starting to look like things are locking back in for Kelley to leave.
Well, and what do you think about, you know, someone in the jury voting for the winner based on loyalty and kindness? How do you feel about that, Taran?
Oh, well, it's all about who's the nicest, as long as you're not Rachel.
And if they're backstabby, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, you shouldn't be backstabby, but as long as you're not Rachel, that's okay.
Man, I was like, when I was watching Rachel and Keanu have these conversations, I'm like, Keanu, can't you see that she's like that's not the right argument for Rachel? She wants people that are making moves, and like if you're trying to keep Kelley in this game and she's saying loyalty and kindness is what she's basing her vote on, like there's no way that you're gonna be able to convince Rachel that she should keep her. But anyways, he didn't really seem to pick that up. He was kind of going around in circles with how he was trying to deflect that. It was odd that he couldn't figure it out.
I mean, again, this is what I said at the beginning. It's all about figuring out what does Keanu want.
Right, I forgot.
He pitches more for Kelley, flips Rachel back over. Like it's pretty easy, you know. I'm starting to really figure out this house. It's really just what does Keanu want? Do the opposite. That's it.
Now, do you think this only works with him in the house, or do you think next season, if he's doing any commentary, speaking about it, if he wants something to go, or if he's rooting for someone, do you think it will still play out in the outside world, or is it only within the house?
I think it's only within the house, because part of it is that he can't help but try to get what he wants. And
Mm.
every time he tries to get something, it does the opposite.
So anti-influence, I guess, is like
Yes.
what he has. Okay, got it.
Yes. Which is funny because he's such a big, like, motivational, like, self-help kind of like manifest what you want kind of guy. And in the house, if he listen, if he figured out his superpower and he started intentionally campaigning for the thing he doesn't want, he would be unstoppable. I mean, the next Dan Giesling.
He would be an amazing player. Like that would be, oh my gosh, that'd be really cool to watch. Is he actually also very good at chess? Because like the way that he was teaching Lauren, I was like, oh my god, he's so annoying, so condescending, and like, anyways, is he actually good? Like I only know how to move the chess pieces.
I do not. I am not like tracking the elo of the chess players, but I do not believe he's great at chess.
Okay, because he's acting like he's Bobby Fischer over there, and like with how he's like, you know, teaching and mentoring Lauren, being like, you know, as long when you make a move, as long as you know what you're doing and like why you're doing it, then it's still a good move. And I'm just like, okay, but like then you just missed that move that Kelley points out. Anyways, it's also very funny Keanuisms.
Mm-hmm. So then, you know, it's a lot more of Morgan and Vince, because Morgan has started to back down on the Kelley thing, but she keeps kind of coming back to it. And like late into the night, she's like crying about it. She's like, all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, like, oh, I just feel so bad. You know, like she's always been told that she's too much, and we're just gonna vote her out. And I want to give her more of an opportunity. And this is just, I think, another final like Hail Mary grasp at like, you know, without actually pushing, can I push a little bit to see if we can get this vote back? But it's not really going anywhere, especially because from Vince's perspective, it seems like the only thing he's really focused on is trying to see if she's willing to stay up in the HOH room with him overnight. Because he asks about 4 different times.
So you're gonna sleep up here? You're gonna stay up here? Yeah, I mean, she's beautiful. They get along really well. He's lonely. Got a head of household room here. He really wants her to win next week so that they could keep this room for another week together. I get it.
Yeah, you know, if you wanted to stay up, if you wanted to sleep up in here, that'd be like, I wouldn't mind at all. And you know, oh, did you want to come back up? And you know, oh man, I really hope that you win next week so we can keep the room.
Yeah.
I could totally stay up here.
I was waiting for like we just have to be respectful. Be respectful. I want to be respectful.
Yeah. Listen, we started talking about this like at the beginning of the week, and it has continually like heated up every single day, and it's to the point where last night it was really it's pretty much all anyone's talking about this morning, because the vote is not that interesting.
It's not. We do. I guess like Riley and Katherine weren't the love story that we wanted. I'm kind of more invested in this one. I'm sorry. I like Love Island. I watch The Bachelor. Like I love shows. So if we got a little bit here, I'm happy.
Oh, so those shows, people are all over the place, right? Like they're not super committed. You're used to it.
Yes. Definitely.
This is not just something that we are talking about or that's being talked about on the outside either. It is something that people inside the house are starting to notice and comment on. There were a few different sort of pointed comments about how they are attached at the hip, that they spend all of their time together. Ava was noticing, like, yeah, I walked up there at like 4 a.m. last night, and the two of them were like hanging out up there together. And that, like, she's, bringing food back to him, and that they're awfully close. And this is not the first time that this has been commented on either. They were all surprised, or not all, but some of them were surprised to find out that Vince had a girlfriend a month ago. Because they thought that there was something going on between the two of them. So it is also pretty game relevant here in terms of what's happening with Vince and Morgan.
We know you got to break up a showmance, but let's let this week happen. Let's see what happens with the next vote, or the next head of household, and then we can decide if we want to split them apart. But we can have the love story for now, right, Taran?
Listen,
you're like, I don't want it. Just want to
I cannot count myself amongst the shippers. How
dare you?
I'm sorry, but I definitely. What I will say is, again, going back to the, I said it like a week ago at this point, that, like, or close to. He says he has permission to do this. I would say at this point, it feels incredibly unlikely to me
that they're still together.
That the level of detail discussed involved what's happening.
Yeah.
He hasn't really mentioned anything about it since. And he really did seem like he was trying real hard to see if she would stay up in the HOH room with her. And that, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard when somebody has somebody on the outside world. And so I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I'm just looking for what's going on here. And so, like, I do hope that he has, like, he's made it clear with, like, the lines that he's willing to be crossing with his partner or his relationship back home. Because, yeah, I don't want someone to feel like he's disrespecting them or, like, messing up their relationship. So yeah, I do feel bad in that sense. I agree, but what we're seeing, I do like.
Yes. Well, and people in the chat, like, there are other kinds of relations. Absolutely. And I, by the way, I think that there's a perfectly, like, people have different boundaries individually and as couples. And I respect all of those boundaries. I think that you can absolutely be a very cuddly person. You can be all kinds of different things. I cast no judgment upon any of it. We are just analyzing the situation as it is, and based on what Vince has told us. That's the read that I have on it. He has not mentioned anything about any kind of that kind of relationship. Not that he necessarily needs to, but what I will say is it feels a little off.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
But listen, it's not the first time, and it will not be the last time. The important thing is that it is definitely impacting both of their games, specifically his, since he was so heavily influenced by her this week. And they are definitely rising up in terms of perception with the rest of the house, with how they feel about the two of them together as a pair. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of it.
Well, yeah, exactly. We have to wait and see, like, who's head of household next week, and if they're going to want to split them apart. It's going to be unrequited love, It might be one of those kind of stories where they can't keep them together.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else to bring up, Chantele?
I just thought one, just kind of to piggyback on you saying that Rachel had a pretty good day today, is that she had a conversation with Katherine, and it was like quite nice, where she just was like, hey, like, I don't want to go to war with you. Like, I do feel bad about taking out Riley on my head of household. And I really thought that even if Katherine is still mad at Rachel and still wants to come for her, like I thought it was really good for her to come from a soft kind of even maybe a little bit mothering perspective and like just relate a little bit to Katherine. I thought that was some good work that she did there to make Katherine just not so ready to like aim at Rachel necessarily, but maybe to like be like, okay, like we can maybe get along and coexist in this house.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's about what we have for you then. I will also mention that I noticed this morning there are a couple of interviews with Riley that have come out, email only, seemingly. I do not have one. I was not offered one. So, don't expect one from me. But I haven't really mentioned it because there's not really much to talk about that I think, probably it's really honestly not even worth. It's just a bunch of PR stuff. He does not admit any kind of significant responsibility or fault in them, and it honestly doesn't even sound like Riley in the interviews. So that's really all that's worth saying there. Anyway, that's what we have for you today. I'll be back tonight after the episode to recap the episode tonight. Of course, I'll be live during the episode as well over on my YouTube channel and Twitch channel. So we'll see what happens. We've had some fun Thursdays so far, but we'll see what happens tonight. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with a later start time because we should be talking to the evicted player tomorrow morning. Although I guess we'll see. And that's about it. Make sure you check out my book, Behind the Mirror. You can pre-order it at taranarmstrong.com and check out all the other stuff we're doing. Chantele, what do you got going on?
Well, tonight I'm going to be on Chappelle's channel, Recap Kickback, and talking about the finale of Flavor of Love season 1. I hadn't seen the season before, and so we've been going back down on the origin of New York, and it has been a time. So I have not watched the episode yet, so I don't even know how it all ends, actually. And so yeah, you'll see us recap that at 6 p.m. on his channel tonight.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here today, and I will see all of you next time.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.